Okay, I'm going to talk to you about Easter, the history of Easter, and where it came from. When you think of the word Easter, what comes to mind? I think of candy, eggs, and Easter baskets. Now, I'm sure all of you have celebrated this holiday with your family and hiding Easter eggs for your children Sunday morning. But do you know where it originated? Easter began in Europe. We get the name Easter from the fertility goddess Eostre. She was often depicted as carrying a basket with 2 baby hares and red eggs. This holiday dates back to the very beginning of Christianity and is probably the most likely to be the oldest observance after the Sabbath, which is celebrated on Saturday. Have you ever wondered why the dates differ every single year? It's never on the same day. It's because back when it was being established, the Eastern and Western churches couldn't agree on a date. The emperor at the time, Constantine, appointed a council to choose the final decision. It ended up being that Easter would end up on a Sunday, no matter what, every single year after the first full moon of the vernal equinox. This became a movable feast between March 21st and April 25th. That's why it differs every year. When was Easter introduced to America? The German settlers brought it to America in the 18th century. At first, our American settlers weren't very comfortable with the whole idea because they were Puritans and they didn't have any reason for religious festivals or anything like that, so it took them a while to get interested. So why are eggs so important to this Easter holiday? Why are they significant and what do they stand for? Eggs all around the world are viewed as a symbol of life. Red eggs were exchanged between Christians back in the religious days in Europe and stuff because the red represented the blood that Christ shed to, forgot that word. What's that word?
Started with the R.
I know.
And it wasn't resurrection.
Redeem the world. And the egg stood for the resurrection and the purpose that there's a new life within each shell. Now there's different traditions around the world, and they each differ from each country. In Europe, in midsummer, they hang eggs on the trees for good fortune and good harvests. Eggs laid on Good Friday, which is the Friday before Easter Sunday, are said to have the yolk turn into diamond if you keep them for 100 years, or if you eat the Good Friday eggs on Easter, it prevents death in the family and provides you with good luck and great harvests. Double yolks often meant that you would be very rich soon. People back then in those days actually believed all of this stuff. Now, eggs are a lot more than just eating and for decorating. They have different games all over the place, and a popular one is egg rolling. They actually have one every single year on the White House lawn. It's where you take a spoon and you have your own section, and you have to spoon the egg down the hill or across the lawn, and the person that reaches the finish line first wins. Now they only use usually plastic eggs filled with candy or chocolate eggs because hard-boiled eggs get smushed too easily. Also in Europe, there's a thing called egg pegging. It's trick-or-treating, but instead of getting candy, children knock door to door and receive eggs instead. In medieval times, there was an egg-throwing thing involved in the church. The pastor or priest, before noon, would grab an egg and throw it at a choir boy. They would continue playing catch with everybody throughout the church, and when the clock struck noon, the person holding the egg got to keep it. And eggs were special, and sometimes they were scarce, so these were treasured gifts when they were decorated. Now for the Easter Bunny in baskets. The Easter Bunny is actually a hare instead of a rabbit, and this is something that most people don't realize. It's the hare that the fertility goddess was seen carrying, not a rabbit. Easter baskets were usually filled with early seedlings and taken to temples to be blessed so that they would have good harvest crops, and that came from the Catholics taking food to Mass to get their food blessed. The idea of the Easter Bunny came from an old German tale of an old woman who used to decorate eggs and hide them for children. Well, the children would see an Easter bunny hopping away after they found the eggs, and so they just assumed, being young, that it was the Easter bunny that left it there. So now they used bonnets when they were popular because Easter baskets weren't as available, and now they have baskets that they just make. They're pre-made. It's really thrown the tradition out of whack because now children don't wake up to eggs, they wake up to toys and baskets full of candy. So that's a little bit about the history of Easter and where it came from. Yeah, no matter how you celebrate it, knowing a little bit of the facts and information about it makes it more meaningful and interesting when you actually do celebrate it.